All right. This is Sidikai Mary saying to you, welcome to Chapel of Signs and Wonders with me tonight. Tonight is the third day of our theme, Opportunity of a Middle Life Crisis. I want to thank you very much for being part of my life and for being part of this ministry. Ministry is simply the office that God has given to me to execute on the earth. Everything else rallies around this office. I want to thank very much a wonderful sister in Vegas that has been of so much help to what I'm doing. So much help. I want to thank her very much for her contribution to our ministry. I also want to thank those of you from around the world who felt God calling you to join what I'm doing. We have people coming all the way from Botswana to join what I'm doing. People already with churches and so on who have been called by God to come into my life so that I can shepherd them as a bishop. So welcome to our ministry. Now tonight is the conclusion of this week's activities, and next week activities is already there. Next week activity says turn your night into day. It also means turn your darkness into light. We will be dealing with the blessings of crisis. Tonight, I want to begin to thank those of you who shared your experience with us last night. Someone called my attention today, one of my most beloved sisters from India, one of the most beloved sisters, loved, wonderful lady. And also, another beloved sister called me all the way from Switzerland to share with me that my voice came out clear in the video of last night, but the video of those who were sharing was like muffled. So I don't know whether we need a phone system with what do we call it? With what do we call the voice something? What do we call it? I don't know whether we need a phone system in the office that also has a voice that could be turned on. What do we call that, please? Somebody help me here. Someone who knows technology. Like when for example, like now I've turned a light on, and I'll be able to hear you guys without putting it on my ears. So we will need a phone system. That's what I'm thinking. We need a phone system that that I can put it on a speaker. Yeah, I do not know whether if we put it on if we have a phone system with a loud speaker phone, whether that will do the job. That's what I'm thinking, because everyone can hear everyone very well inside the conference, but when it comes out to be recorded into the video, it's like muffled. It doesn't come out really well. So let's see how tonight's one is gonna look like. Last month, the Almighty began to speak to me very deliberately about the opportunity that a middle life crisis presents. I became very interested in finding out no human being loves pain. No human being wants to be harassed, embarrassed. No human being enjoys a life of pain. Except there might be some who do not know that they are enjoying a life of pain. Some do not know it. In fact, some people do not even know that they are living in pain, and that they are consciously or unconsciously enjoying it or living with it or tolerating it. Not me. I'm sensitive to it. That's why I cannot stand any place where there is animosity or unnecessary self-imposed pain and quarrel, because I cannot focus on myself, on worship, on God, on ministry or family. I cannot. Drama does not, I don't get paid for drama. I'm serious. So I began to ask God, what is the opportunity for a middle life crisis? He said, well, I want you to take note of this. Well, let me ask each of you tonight before I begin to rush into it. I want to say one thing that we did not mention in the first video. Pray and overcome middle life crisis. The reasons for it. One of the reasons that God shared with me, one of the reasons why people have middle life crisis, just one of it, is that his children, they do too much rush. People rush into things that will destroy them at the end. They get attached emotionally, financially, maritally, sexually, into relationships, jobs, things that eventually has been put together by life or by death to kill them, to destroy them, and to bring about a middle life crisis. People rush into marriage, people rush into relationship, people rush into dating, people rush into doing this, doing that, never taking any time to really make sense of what they are doing, never taking time to pull themselves out and say, I would rather bear the consequence of letting things go now than proceeding with things and suffer later. A lot of people don't think that way. As far as they achieve, it's like there is something, everybody is interested in that job. Everybody is interested in that woman. Everybody is interested in that man. Everybody is interested in those, So there is a pursuit for it. And they do not see that at the end of the tunnel, there is a big pain waiting for them in middle age. Buying a house, buying a car, everything looks fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But God wants you to step back. The thing looks good, sounds good, perfect. But stand back to take a look at it and say, God, you have an eye that can see. What do you see about this in the future? You see, now is not the problem. The problem is the future of that thing. Buying a nice car right now is not a problem. The problem is, how long is it going to last? What is the future of that car? Is that car built, structured well to last up to the next 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years? My friend told me, was talking to me about the meaning of Ford, and I was laughing. He said, found on the road, dead. I was laughing. I've never heard of it before. He said, that's the meaning of Ford. Found on the road, dead. American cars are made for luxury. They are made for beauty and for luxury. But the Germans, the Japanese, the Koreans are made for ruggedity. They are tough and to last. They might not be as luxury inside. I mean, except the Germans have those two in one. The British, the Germans are structured well, and the Swiss, the Volvo, the Mercedes, the Jag, all those cars from German, and what do we call the Rolls Royce from England, etc. They are structured both to last, and also for beauty, and the inside is good. But the Japanese are mainly to work for you, to run for you for a long time. But American cars, they are sleek, beautiful. Nowadays, America is trying to make it both ways. But one of the things I like about American cars is if they fall apart, you can fix it very easily and still keep driving it. So that's the advantage of it. Whereas the other ones, the parts cost a whole lot. So you see, that's the difference. There's always a give and take in everything. So God began to share with me that the inability, you see something looks good, something sounds good, something looks perfect, you begin to think that you can take advantage of it. You can be the winner of it. And you don't think about the future of that thing. God has seen in that person will not live more than the next 20 years. That person might suffer from cancer, disease, all kind of things, and might end up in a wheelchair, and you will need to be taking care of that person. And there is somebody else who will be able to handle that situation than yourself, but you cannot see the future. And a lot of people do not spend time to say, God, even if this thing looks convincing, what do you say about the future of this thing? And that is why a lot of people, by the time they reach middle age, the man or the woman is sick, dying, lost their job. Have you asked God to look at the job, the investment of the person you are rushing after? How long is that person going to live? What's going to be the outcome of making a baby together with this man or this woman? What's going to be the outcome of buying a home together with this man or this woman? In the future, you're always asking God, be an eye for me, be an ear for me, be the brain for me, see for me, because I cannot see completely. Any prophet who tells you they have the ultimate answer to your future is a liar. Because there's a lot that God will not tell even the prophet. Even if he said God never does anything until he reveals it to his prophet, well, you have to understand it in the context of where and why it was spoken. Because when God told Samuel to go and anoint in the house of Jesse one of his sons to be a king, he did not give the name of the person. Samuel has to ask the children, the sons of Jesse, to come and pass by him. He was even about to make mistake to anoint one of them, and God said, hey, stop it. A human being sees sees outward appearance, God sees the heart. See? The Shunammite woman's son died, and God did not tell the prophet. There are so many places where God never told the prophet. The prophet has to figure it out himself. So if it is like that with those of us who God brings to the inner court, to the Holy of Holies, and it's not everything they know. If angels do not know many things about God, how much more us? Step back in everything to ask God to decode the spirit of the person you are dealing with, so that you will avoid heartache in the future. Do you want to avoid court cases, child support, disease, widowhood, all those things? Tell God today that you are not willing to rush for anything. Because the immediate satisfaction is what a human being is after. And a human being is not after the gratification of the future. And that's the biggest problem of humans with God. God spent time to see the end even before the beginning. And he said to me, it's one of the biggest reasons my children, when they reach the age of 40, 50, especially 60, their life begin to crack up and break down. warn you. I warn you. God has sent me to you to warn you. Rushing for anything is saddled with the responsibility of a middle age crisis. Sit back and watch out. It's not everything that glitters is gold. Human beings have the tendency to hide their life as much as they could until after wedding. After wedding comes marriage. It's like buying a house in America. It's nice. Or buying a car, everything looks so good. They tell you it's only this a month. $100 a month. By the time they will begin to open the package, you will know what is in that house that you are buying. Nobody tells you everything about the thing. That's how it is. Ask God to see the future for you so as to avoid the middle life crisis. I will pause this video here and we will start the video for tonight.